Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's me, Jay Trades, and today I'm going to do a video where I will do a car talk, basically going over my trading journey entirely for the past roughly 4 years now, how I got into trading, how I became profitable, what was like a basically the aha moment for me personally, where I kind of came from, to my background, what type of jobs I worked, and basically how I found out about trading and how I was able to successfully make 7 figures in the market day trading nowadays as my main source of income. So yeah, I'm gonna start driving here and we'll just talk for a bit. So I started out my trading journey roughly about 4 years ago, and for those who don't know, I used to work a warehouse minimum wage job. That's what I was doing at the time, and trust me, if you've worked a job like that, you know what I'm talking about. But it's awful, right? You hate working those hours. It's also really bad hours from like 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. So I had to wake up very early, very stressful and very laborious job. I'll go over more of that later in just a bit. I don't think it's super important to today's video, but that's basically where I was at in my life. I was very depressed at the time. There's not much I could do. Like I was trying to find something that I really wanted to do, I was really passionate about, but I just could not find it. Until one day, I just randomly was like, you know what? Let me try to get into investing, get into stocks. The thing I even found on YouTube, it was by this one guy called like Ricky Gutierrez or something. If y'all know, he trades like QQQ or something like that. But along the lines of that, basically, I got into trading initially as a long-term investment, and I would just basically buy stocks, hold the indices, and basically just average in and try to hold it for long-term trading. That did not last for too long. I'm not saying I lost money doing that, but more so I realized the potential upside is so tiny where if you're only making like 5 to 10% a year on average annually, then... But yeah, basically what I was trying to get at was, the average return percent is just too small when it comes to long-term investing. Unless I guess you're investing into basically like maybe like I don't know, meme coins or stuff like that. But even then, that's just gambling in my personal opinion, and insider trading. I don't do any of that, so not something I was really interested or looking into. And I was very sussed out about crypto as well, so I don't really have too much crypto kind of stuff going on. I know some people used to do that type of long-term investing, but like I said, at the end of the day, most of my long-term investing was into specific stocks: Tesla, AMD, Amazon, and then the S&P 500, of course. And all these kind of things. Basically, my phone just fell off. Give me a second. But basically, with all these things, like, it just didn't give much return. You need a lot of buying power, a lot of capital in order to make it worth it. So if I was trying to make it worth it, I would need a lot of money. And the main thing about getting rich is it's not about investing. It's about cash flow. You need cash flow, okay? What that means is consistent income coming in. It doesn't have to be super consistent, but you need income coming in at least. You cannot just use what money you already have and expect that to make you a millionaire, or even potentially in future multimillionaire, billionaire, right? That's just not a thing. You need consistent high cash flow. And so that's when I realized, okay, let me try swing trading because the frequency is much higher. I could make more return swing trading. It did not last too long. I swing traded. I actually did very good my first month in swing trading. I like more than doubled my entire account actually. And then later, basically I fell into the trap where I realized, damn, okay, this is not as easy as I thought it was compared to long-term investing, right? It's also easier, if you want to call it, than day trading, but long-term investing, it's not ideal. I'm not gonna lie, it is not ideal, okay? Because like the returns are still not great. Maybe you can make 20% a year, okay? But think about day trading. I can make, even the worst day trading strategy can probably make you 10%. If it has an edge, 10% a month. So do the math. That times 12, that's 120% a year. That's way more than any swing trading strategy. Swing trading just had too low frequency. I was very impatient when it comes to swing trading, and at that point I was just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I gotta do something else and figure out another way to make money, because clearly, this is not good cash flow. So then I was like, all right, so I need to find something that gives me more cash flow. What could that thing possibly be, right? And so I got into day trading. I can't remember entirely who it was online initially that I was looking at, but essentially it was people, or day trading people, and basically I looked up some YouTube videos. I start off with like indicators, just like everyone else. That's pretty lame, I know, but everyone literally was on the indicator wave. Like, what can you say, right? I was on the indicator wave for a bit, but I was not on it for too long. A lot of people were on it for a very long time. Me personally, I was not on it for too much before I switched up and was like, you know what, no. There's no way it's this easy to become profitable. Just following an EMA crossover, that's just not a thing, right? If it was, you could code that super easily. You don't even need ChatGPT to code that. You can nowadays use brain-dead AI and you can code a EMA crossover. So after I realized that, I was like, damn, okay, it can't be